Welcome to the latest edition of the Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Hagan. With me, don't forget, as always, the Hudson County Sports Podcast is brought to you by Stan Sports Center, located at 528 Washington Street in Hoboken. Telephone number there is 201-798-4466. And with me today as a special guest is somebody who played baseball first at St. Peter's Prep, and then later on, after a good career at St. Peter's Prep, he went on to play 4 years at New Jersey City University, and recently has now been the Director of Recreation for the city of Bayonne, and it's my friend Pete Amadeo. Pete, how are you doing today?
Yeah, great. How are you?
I'm glad to have you. Good to have you. All right, let's talk a little bit about you growing up as a kid. And did you grow up in Bayonne?
Yeah, I grew up in Bayonne my entire life. Always playing outside, participated in all Bayonne Great Leagues, Bayonne Little League, Bayonne PAL, recreation. So I've been Bayonne my entire life.
All right, talk to me a little bit about what it was like to grow up in Bayonne at that time when you were growing up back in the 80s.
Growing up in Bayonne, being outside, I think every night, every day, with your friends, there was really nothing like it. Playing down the Little League, going down the Little League when you were not even playing.
All right, what street did you grow up on, Pete?
36th Street.
36th Street, okay.
Yeah, 36th Street, which is ironic now because I actually bought a house, 8 houses from my house growing up.
Is that wow? Okay. And where did you go to grammar school?
I went to grammar school at Broom School.
Broom school, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then there must have been a lot of kids in your neighborhood when you were growing up. There must have been a lot of kids that you were, able to play sports with. What was that like?
We were outside every day. Made a lot of great friends who I still speak with today. And it's just a great time growing up in Bayonne.
Okay. Was there a local schoolyard that you would go to play in and meet and play at?
Actually, we didn't play right in our street. We were outside playing wiffle ball, two-hand touch football. But a lot of my friends, they were at Marksman School in the schoolyard. But we were outside every day.
Okay. All right, and then what was the sport of choice? Did you play all 3 sports growing up?
I played basketball, baseball. I never got into football or soccer. I was really baseball and basketball.
Okay. And who were your favorite teams growing up as a kid?
Yankees.
Yankees,
Yeah.
okay. Did you have a favorite player?
Derek Jeter. He came on in '96. Derek Jeter was my favorite player. Still my favorite player.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. And how about football-wise? Did you have a favorite team?
Football, I wasn't really a huge football fan. I followed the Jets. I actually followed the Vikings for a while. So I was just a fan of football. I didn't really have a particular team or player, but I loved it.
Okay. And then basketball, did you have a favorite team? Did you follow?
I liked the New Jersey Nets.
Okay, there you go.
They weren't too great back then, but I was a Nets fan. Still follow them.
They were getting there. They were getting there, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, I love basketball.
Right.
Michael Jordan obviously was the guy, still is.
Okay. When you were following the Nets, was that the Keith Van Horn, Kendall Gill, Kerry Kittles era?
Yeah, that whole group. That was the whole era followed them, but I just like Nets basketball. I think it was the uniforms, to be honest with you. I was a basketball fan.
All right. Now, talk to me a little bit about now you graduate from Broom School, and was there any discussion at all about you going to Bayonne High, and was it a tough decision for you to go to St. Peter's Prep?
Yeah, it was, Bayonne High School. My friends go to Bayonne High School. I've been to Bayonne. I know so many people from Bayonne. But we ended up going to Prep. My uncle went to Prep. My parents really loved Prep. We went to open house. We loved it. We decided to go to Prep because it's a great decision. But Bayonne High School was definitely an option, and it was a tough decision.
Okay. You said you.
It worked out.
All right. So you said your uncle went to Prep. All right. Did that help in the situation that your uncle went to Prep?
It had a little in there. That he went there. My mom, which is my uncle,
Okay.
But it was a good 4 years.
Your mom was a prep cheerleader, huh? Not bad. What era is that your mom was a prep cheerleader?
I gotta find that one out. I don't know if she's gonna let me tell anyone, but
Oh, okay. So, all right. So we'll low key it though. You know.
yeah.
All right.
She loves prep. Still does.
She loved prep. Okay. Well, she obviously it's not a bad thing to love prep. As it's fully well sure that you and I have that in common. All right. All right. When you went to prep, right away, did you decide, okay, I'm going to try out for the baseball team, and how difficult was it as a freshman to try out for the prep baseball team?
Yeah, I actually played freshman basketball, and
Oh, you did? You played?
I played freshman basketball.
Okay.
I didn't really play too much, but I was on the team.
Okay.
But then, I definitely wanted to try for baseball. I made the team. Prep's always competitive, so it's pretty exciting to make the team. And I had a good freshman year, and I ended up playing all 4 years.
Okay. And did you get a chance to sniff varsity at all as a freshman, or you just played freshman baseball?
I played freshman as a freshman JV, as a sophomore, and then my junior and senior year I was on varsity.
Okay. And then who was the varsity baseball coach when you were there? Was it Urbanovich?
Joe Urbanovich.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about playing for Urbanovich and what was that like. How much did you learn about the sport of baseball from Joe Urbanovich?
Yeah, he was a great coach. Every day we practiced hard. We knew what our goal was, and we learned a lot from him. He was a great coach, and we had a couple of great teams, and it was an exciting time.
Okay. When did you graduate from prep? What year? 99. So in the 98 you were on the county. That was the 98 they won the county championship, correct?
No, 99 we won it. My senior year.
Oh, 99 you won it. Okay.
Yeah, 99 we won it. We went undefeated in the county. We won the county championship. We had a great.
Who'd you beat in the county finals?
We beat Memorial.
Memorial. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was the time Memorial was really, really strong. So it was a good season. We ended up, I think, finished 5th in the state. We made it to the state semifinals. We lost a heartbreaker, but it was a great year.
Okay. Who'd you lose to in the state semifinals? Do you remember?
It was St. Joe's Metuchen, I believe.
St. Joe's and Metuchen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And who were some of the guys that were on that Prep 99 team with you?
We had Jack Baker, who I believe was the county player of the year.
Okay.
Steve Jimenez.
Oh wow. That's not a bad 1-2 pitching combo right there, huh?
Yeah. Pete Amadeo was our shortstop. Ryan Carroll. Kevin Coyle.
Oh wow. You had some talented players on that team.
Yeah, we had a great squad for sure. Greg Hondo was on the team. There's so many other players that we just had a great year.
Okay. And what was it like to know fully well that you had two players like Jackie Baker and Steve Jimenez that you gave them the ball, fully well you had a real good chance of winning that game. And what was it like to be able to play?
We knew. I think every time we took the field, we knew we had a great chance of winning. And we were never cocky. We were just very confident. And it showed. We were just a great team.
Okay. All right. Go back a little bit and talk to me a little bit about when you played baseball growing up in Bayonne. What was it like to play? Was Bayonne Little League prevalent at that time, or was there still the battle going on between the Little League and the Cal Ripken? And did that not exist?
So that was after my Little League days. So Little League was, it was the top spot in Bayonne. The crowds are big. Just great games. The amount of players was just so talented. Kenny Kopach, Chief Mikowski. I could go on and on. Some great teams, great coaches were down there. It was just a great time.
Okay. And did you guys play in the District 7 tournament? Did you do well in that tournament at all? Do you remember?
We didn't win it, but we competed.
Okay.
We competed.
All right. But that must have been, so did that give you a good taste in your mouth of growing up in Bayonne? Like saying, okay, I'm, like you said, you talked about competing. Does that give you a good taste in your mouth of being around sports? Did you say to yourself, okay, this is something I'd really love to be able to do when I get up, when I grow older?
Yeah, absolutely. Renee Lamb, Marty Reed still around. So those guys are still involved, and they definitely were role models for myself and a lot of kids, I think.
If you don't mention Flip Taylor, he's gonna come jumping right through the right through the computer screen. So you better.
I just talked to Flip yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, Flip's a good guy. So we had a great time growing up.
Yeah. Plus, he listens to this on a weekly basis. So if you don't mention Flip, gotta give Flip his due. So, all right. So anyway, so that was a positive stepping stone, say so to speak, for you growing up as a kid after you growing up and playing, youth sports in Bayonne, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And was it easy in the fact that Bayonne all had just, there was either two places you went. You either went to the PAL or you went to where the Little League was all the way down at First Street. So I mean, did it make things easier knowing fully well you had it was even though Bayonne was a pretty large geographic area, you basically had two hotbeds of activity going on either at the PAL or then at the PAL, then the Little League field down at First Street.
Yeah, and I think everyone knew it too. Everyone knew, who's playing down at Little League, what's going on at the PAL. Again, the talent in Bayonne is phenomenal. So sports in Bayonne has always been great, and I think everyone in Bayonne knows that.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the youth coach. Before we get into you talking about high school and stuff, talk a little bit about your youth coaches and how much of an influence were they on you growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, youth coaches is so important for youth sports. Growing up, Pony League, Nick Brancatella, who I'm very good friends with today, he was my Pony League coach, and I actually remember I had questions about even trying out the prep because I wanted to concentrate on Pony because we had such a great team.
And Pony is what? Is that a bit like Babe Ruth, 13 to 15?
Yeah, he was 13 and 14.
Okay.
And I was a little hesitant, even though I knew I was trying out, but I was so concentrated on trying to win the Pony championship. And I remember him telling me, he goes, "You better try out for that prep team." He goes, "You're very talented, but make sure you try out for the prep team." And he gave me a great speech on a car ride home about, the importance of high school and athletics and just basically everyday life. And I'm very good friends with him now, and we talk almost daily, obviously about sports and baseball and life. I speak to him about my family, my children, and just that connection we had when I was 13, 14 years old, and now I'm going to be 40, and we've become great friends. So I always think it's important for youth coaches to be involved in the life of their player in so many aspects. So we had a great relationship, and very proud of that.
Okay. And so did they, give you a background that's saying, okay, youth coaches meant that much to you that you wanted to be involved as growing up?
Actually, after I finished playing for him, I think even after baseball season was over, I actually did help him coach Little League for 1 or 2 years. I became very good friends with his son, who I helped coach when he was younger. But I definitely wanted to be part of coaching, and I ended up coaching, Calvert All-Stars later on. But seeing him coaching what he did for our team and our players, that definitely gave me some thinking of, definitely want to help out.
Okay. All right, your first couple of years at Prep, you said you played freshman and JV. Who were the coaches there before you went to go play for Bayonne? Okay, who is now currently the athletic director at Dickinson High School.
Great guy. I remember him coaching us freshman year like it was yesterday. I saw him recently, a couple years ago. And then JV was Carmen Spina.
Sure, who's now the head. He's the head coach at Rutherford High School, so he,
I've seen him. I've seen them both. I'm coaching, and they're doing great. So those are my freshman and JV coaches.
Okay, so therefore you were learning from really good people back then at your freshman and sophomore year of Prep. Those are good guys.
We had a great staff.
Okay. All right, and then so that just naturally led to, you said in '99, you guys won the county championship, and that was few and far between at that point for Ivanovic because he had only won once in his entire career. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just one time, 88. Yeah. Okay. And then that started a run where he won, I think, like 5 or 6 in about an 8-year span. Like Prep became he had a very, very good run. Okay. Right. All right. So now you graduate from Prep in '99. Was there any thought at all of you going someplace else to college, or was New Jersey City University that your number one choice?
Well, I actually went to St. Peter's College the fall semester. I was supposed to play baseball at St. Peter's College in the fall, and it just didn't happen. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it did not happen. And then
were you going to play for Bruce Sabatini? Was he the head coach then?
Dan O'Leary.
Oh, Danny O'Leary. Okay.
Yeah. And I think once the head coach at NJCU, Ken Eaton, heard I was not playing, he gave me a call. I think in November, December, and said, "You want to come to NJCU and play?" And at first I was like, "No, this is it. I'm not really looking to do it." And I think my parents convinced me, and then I ended up transferring to NJCU in the spring, and it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Okay, and who was the head coach at NJCU at that time? Was it Kenny Heaton?
Kenny Eaton.
Okay. All right. What was it like to play for Heater?
He's a great guy, funny guy. It was great to play for him. He's very relaxed. They never put too much pressure on us, and it was very enjoyable. I had a great time my freshman year, and
did you play right away at NJCU? Yeah. Just a pitcher. Okay.
Yeah, I pitched maybe like 60 innings my freshman year.
Wow, 60 innings in college baseball for 1 year? Wow.
Actually, I have, I think, like 225 innings pitched at NJCU, which is crazy to me.
Wow.
I pitched that many innings, yeah.
That's got to be some sort of record.
I think I got the top 2 or 3. I just threw a lot. I pitched a lot. So it was exciting.
All right. And did you pitch at all or play at all summer baseball too as well? Did you go anywhere?
Yeah, actually, I made a lot of good friends at NJCU. I played in a wooded bat league in Staten Island. That summer, I actually played in Staten Island for 19 years. It was a men's Sunday morning league, wooded bat. But I played there in the summers of college, and I actually played there after college until I had to call it quits a couple years ago.
Really?
I played 19 summers competitive baseball, and I think I was the oldest guy in the league. I'm pitching against college kids.
Wow.
It was a good time.
Wow, that's amazing. 19. So you pitched 19 years in a fall baseball league. No arm injuries. Nothing. You got lucky.
My last game, I actually pulled a hamstring pretty bad, and that's how my career ended.
Wow.
I played in a championship, and that was it.
That was it, huh? Okay.
That was it. It was time.
All right. And how long ago was that? That was not too long ago?
No, maybe 2017, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
not too long ago.
All right.
But it was time. All the players were a lot younger than I was.
Okay. And you were strictly pitching at that point. You weren't playing. Yeah. Okay.
Every now and then I would get an at-bat.
All right. Okay. All right. And what was the name of the team that you played for in that league?
We were
Staten Island Pirates. Okay. And was that an East Coast baseball league or what was that? What was
it? It was just a men's competitive wooded bat league.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And where after you first of all, how did you guys do when you were at NJCU? Where did you guys compete at all in the NJAC or did that?
It was playing in the NJAC was very difficult. You had so many great teams in Montclair State, with TCNJ, so we really never made it to the playoffs. We did beat some of those teams like Keene. We had some great games, but we just couldn't really get to that point to make it to the NJAC playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it playing at NJCU, was that a good experience for you too as well?
I absolutely loved it. Most of my teammates I'm friends with to this day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they
That's the most.
That's how baseball, it's the friendship that you'll never forget, and it's so true. But that's what I remember most about NJCU.
Okay. And then what was it about sports that made you want to choose that as a career path? And did you know going through college that was going to be your career path?
Yes and no. So when I picked my major, which was business administration, I had to take a minor, and I picked sport management. And I was always involved with rec at age 14, whether I was a camp counselor or a scorekeeper. So I was always around like sports in a way. So when I minored in sport management, I kind of had everything tied in together. So it just worked out well, and I'm like, this is actually something I really want to focus on as I get older. And it just everything just fell perfectly. I got this part-time job here in Bayonne, graduated, was made full-time, and here I am.
Okay. All right. And did you have any other jobs, say, while you were going through college, to give you a little taste of saying, okay, I know I don't want to do that, to when finally after you graduated that you knew what you wanted to do?
I mostly worked for rec as scorekeeper. I did referee men's basketball, but I did have one year I worked at Liberty Science Center, and just to get enough being in the sports field, I just really did not enjoy it.
Okay.
I also worked the New Jersey Turnpike for a couple days. Again,
a couple days. Okay.
A couple days. It wasn't for me. I feel like I wanted to be.
What were you doing for the Turnpike that you knew after a couple days you weren't involved?
Trying to be a toll collector.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it wasn't for me. But I just knew I wanted to be involved with sports and youth and coaching, and it worked out.
Okay. Talk a little bit about what did you do first when you got hired by Bayonne Recreation, and what were some of the things you did?
Well, I'm trying to think when I was here, I was hired in the summer, so we had a lot of summer day camps going on.
And who was the recreation director then?
Henry Klunkowski.
Okay.
Buddy Klunkowski.
Great guy.
Still seems to say great guy.
Okay.
So we had a lot of day camps, but we also had a lot of men's leagues. I was in charge of men's baseball, adult co-ed softball, women's softball, and then that time in Bayonne, the adult leagues were so popular. Even we ran the men's basketball league. So I was right in that position where I had 40 men's basketball teams, 20 co-ed softball teams.
Wow.
25 men's baseball teams, and this is going on every day. So I was thrown into the fire pretty quick that I got to learn pretty quick, because otherwise I'm going to get some phone calls.
And where did these men's leagues come from? Did they have these?
Men's baseball, the A-League.
Do you find that's a little? I mean, now that you're working in the field, but I mean, do you find that it's a little different that you're working with strictly with adult recreation as opposed to like youth recreation, which is everywhere else?
Yeah, it's a lot different now. I think people don't realize how many adult leagues we had back in 2004 up until like 2014. Every night, the basketball court at TG Park was packed, Met Stadium was packed, Gorman Field was packed. Dad really taught me how to really get rec running the right way. You just have to be so organized and really be on your game, because I was really in charge of running all these leagues, and they were all going on at the same time. So I definitely learned quickly.
All right. So you got a little taste of what you wanted to do at a very young age, then, didn't you? Like you were like 20, 21 years old, but you got a taste of maybe what you wanted to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Was there an opportunity at all back then to say, okay, I'm going to maybe get a chance to work, if in this field, if I work my way up, or did you get a sense that that was going to be a career, or did you think of it as still as just being a job?
Yes and no. I was here for a good 6 years. I was made a supervisor, and then a couple years later, Henry Klunkowski retired. I applied for the position, and I was awarded the position, and here I am. So, yeah, there was that sort of, years down the road, this is what I want to do. I want to run the entire show. And,
so you knew that, say, 2021, that you wanted to run the whole show?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I just had so many different ideas.
Okay.
We have a great team.
All right. Well, we will get into that and more of some of the things that you do now as the recreation director in Bayonne in 1 second, right after a word from our sponsor, which is Stan's Sports Center. And Stan's Sports Center is your local full-service sporting goods vendor and authorized team dealer. They offer quality products and dozens of brands to outfit your team top to bottom. Stan's has proudly been supporting the local community since 1946 and is your one-stop shop for uniforms, equipment, online team stores, and so much more. Locations in Hoboken and Saddlebrook and servicing the entire tri-state area. Visit them on the web at Stans, plural, StansSportsCTR.com. That's StansSportsCTR.com. And check them out on social media for all their latest creations. And if you mention the Hudson County Sports Podcast to my friends Danny and Todd and Louie down at Stan's, they'll give you a 10% discount, mind you, too, on all retail items that are available in the store. So you mentioned the Hudson County Sports Podcast and mentioned that you listened to Pete Amadeo as a special guest today. You will get 10% off on everything that's in the store. That's not a bad deal at all. So that's Stan's Sports Center, located in Saddlebrook and in Hoboken. And in Hoboken, it's the address is 528 Washington Street in Hoboken. The telephone number there is 201-798-4466. That's Stan's Sports Center, the executive podcast sponsor of the Hudson County Sports Podcast. Okay, we're now back with Pete Amadeo, who is the Director of Recreation for the city of Bayonne. And Pete, talk to me a little bit about you getting the job as being the Recreation Director, and how old were you when you were elevated to the position of Recreation Director?
28.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 28 when, when I retired and I was given that position. So, I was young, still learning. I mean, I'm still learning today. Every day we learn something different. But, it was an exciting time.
Okay. Did you have any idea at that time, okay, I'm now, I'm the Recreation Director. There are certain things that I want to have done that as the director, I want to have put into place. Was there anything that you had in mind that you really wanted to do?
I think I just wanted just that professional touch to all of our programs. Men's baseball, we didn't have teams didn't have uniforms. I just really wanted to make it professional. We added uniforms, we added a home run derby, I added a website, which we had standings, schedules, photos, videos. We just really promoted rec because it was never promoted in that way. So I knew I wanted to promote our programs, promote our athletes, and it really took off.
All right, now how did you get when you said you got uniforms? Did you get sponsors for the certain teams? Did you work on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, some teams got their own sponsors. So they went to a bar, they went to a restaurant, they got their own sponsors, helped pay for their uniform. But uniforms were, t-shirts. I just wanted it to be more professional. At the time we had players playing on multiple teams, which just wasn't great for the league. We changed the different rules. So at that time, everyone knew, all right, listen, these are the new rules here. This is an organized league. This is professional. We're doing things the right way, and I think our players respected that, and I think they enjoyed it too. They knew, listen, this is fun, but it's also at the same time competitive, and I think they enjoyed it back then, and I don't think they're ever going to forget it either.
All right, now talk to me a little bit about the spring sports. Okay, did you have both adult softball and adult baseball, and how difficult was that to differentiate the two?
Well, there were two different leagues, but they were all going on at the same time. So my biggest obstacle was always getting enough coverage of umpires to make sure every game was covered. On a given night, we had 6 games going on, 2 fields. So that was always my obstacle, to make sure I have enough coverage for every game. Because these players come down, they want a professional game. I have to make sure I have the professionalism umpire. So that was always my tough part.
Okay. Now there was also so many different other softball leagues that were going on in throughout Hudson County and especially in Bayonne because Bayonne had most of the fields. So did you find that the Bayonne Recreation Softball League was in competition with the other softball leagues that were going on, like say the Freeholders League and Fitz's League and Patty Ryan had a league and all these different and the Tavern League and all these different things? Did you find that you were in competition at all with the different leagues that were going on?
Yes, I think the schedules were different, so I think that was very helpful that they weren't always at the same time. So players played different leagues. I don't think it was competition with one another. I think everyone just enjoyed playing in their respective league, and it worked out.
So it worked out everything. It wasn't really that much of a problem.
No, I never had a real problem with competition amongst leagues.
Okay, that's good to know because
Yeah, it was good.
Because softball leagues used to have competition amongst themselves, and it used to be brutal.
Well, I mean, times are different now, but years ago, softball was huge.
Okay, it was, especially with adults. All right, talk to me a little bit about recreations involved with the Little League, which for the longest time there was a battle going on between Cal Ripken and Little League, and has that been settled at all, or is there still two leagues going on?
Yeah, there was that separation of the two leagues for a while, but last season, the administration here in Bayonne and the mayor, James Davis, they called in both leagues and they said, what is best for the kids in this town is to have one league. And last year they combined leagues.
They did. Well, now was this was the year that it was supposed to be together because of COVID and they never played, or because that's all news to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, March of 2020, right when COVID hit, they had to stop the season, and that would have been the first season. But here we are now. League's fine. It's going great. My son plays Little League. Great competition down there. A lot of kids are playing, which is phenomenal. So it's working out great. A lot of great coaches down there.
All right, so what is it now? Where is it just strictly Little League, or is it strictly Cal Ripken, or?
Youth baseball and softball. But they're using both facilities, the Little League field on First Street and the Fifth Street field where Cal Ripken was.
Right.
So they're using both facilities. It's working out great. A lot of great coaches, a lot of guys who are volunteering their time. It's great. It's great.
All right, and how difficult is that, knowing fully well that it used to be two leagues? And now there's only one league, and do they have enough? Obviously kids would still want to play. Has it been hard to to limit the amount of kids that can play in a certain league, or did you just expand the one league, or did recreation get involved in that at all? Did you stay?
We really did not get involved with the everyday Bayonne Little League in Cal Ripken. We would help them out with fields. But we never got involved with the everyday production of Little League Cal Ripken. There were several organizations. But again, times different now, but it's working out great. Ever since they combined, I think a lot of people are happy, and it really is working out great.
Okay. All right. Now let's go back to what are some of the things that you do in the fall months. Okay. Obviously you have soccer, which is huge in Bayonne. I mean, there must be about 800 kids playing soccer.
Soccer has always been big. Soccer is big in the fall. What we run here in the fall through Rec is we run flag football, which is one of our, if not most popular programs.
Even more so than soccer?
Well, it's different. No, soccer it's different. Soccer, you have a lot of players, but flag football we probably had about 250 kids in the fall.
Okay.
We play Monday through Friday, all the way from kindergarten to 8th grade. This past April, we did flag football for pre-K 4-year-olds, which is the first time we ever did it. We had 6 teams. It was excellent. Kids had a great time. Everything we do here, we really focus on having fun and introduction to sports, and it's a very relaxed atmosphere.
Okay. how much of what you do in all these sports, say, just start with the fall, how much of what you do is instructional as opposed to playing the games and having competition? And is there a percentage, like say, how much goes to instruction and others that go to playing?
Well, it's kind of both at the same time. Like flag football, like I myself am the referee slash quarterback, and I staff on the field as so we're instructing the same time the competitive games are going on. And that's what I think makes it so successful is that these kids are learning as they're competing. Flag football, we're teaching them how to catch the ball, we're teaching them how to run, play defense, but it's all going on during the game, and it's a good pace. It's not slow pace, so they learn quick, and it really works out great.
Okay. All right. So then, once soccer and football and everything is over, and everything's got to get moved inside, how difficult does it become without a quote recreation center in the town? And do you have to hope and pray that you're able to use the different gyms and the different schools and stuff?
Right. So we don't have our own rec center, but everything we do inside the Board of Education, they give us permits for all the gyms, and the Board of Ed, I can't express how incredible they've been. Whatever we need to get our programs running, they're right there for us. Please tell us what you need. Let's get this done, and we do get it done. And we can't run without the Board of Ed. We need them to be successful, and it works out.
Okay. And the Board of Ed, and is there a great relationship, would you say, right now between the Board of Ed and Recreation?
Yeah, I think we have a great relationship. Mr. Ken Kopas is the assistant superintendent. We were on the same little league team, and growing up, we were always good friends. So we have that good relationship, and everyone at the Board of Ed, we've just grown, become good friends.
Yeah, you had a good relationship with Kenny if you fed him meatballs over the middle of the plate when you were playing against him. That's as long as he was able to hit, that's all. He was a good friend of yours. But if you were striking him out, he wasn't looking out to help you. No, I'm only kidding. Kenny's a good guy and he's a good friend. Oh my God, Keith McCaskey is the principal of Lincoln. Wow, I feel real old now. I feel real old. Oh my God! Oh jeez, these are all guys I covered when they were when they were playing high school baseball. So.
Yeah, a lot of great guys, and they're great for Bayonne and great for recreation.
Okay, and so there's obviously then you have a good relationship and you're able to maintain that going forward, and that helps a great deal.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Talk to me a little bit about the relationship that you have with parents, and how difficult is it to have parents take a step back and allow the coaches and everybody to play, and you try to tell the parents, hey, take a step back, and let the coaches coach and the administrators administrate, and do you try to tell them to maybe take a back seat, so to speak, and allow things to take place?
Not going on. I think that is so important because we're always doing the right thing, and I think the parents know that we're always doing the right thing, and that goes a long way. We've had some games where it's been competitive, it's been crazy. Parents, they're gonna cheer, they're gonna, disagree with the call, but we never get to that point where it goes over the line.
Okay.
And I think it's because everyone knows we're doing the right thing, and our kids are what's the main point. And it's been great. We have a great relationship with all our parents.
That's the most important thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then talk to me about. All right, so now basketball, or in the winter months, what are some of the things other than basketball that you offer for the kids?
So we do floor hockey inside. We do floor hockey this past winter. We couldn't go inside, so we actually moved indoor floor hockey outdoors. We played at the First Street Tennis Courts. Again, floor hockey was another one of our bigger leagues. We have close to 200 children playing. We do that indoors. We do volleyball. We do co-ed indoor volleyball. Yeah, we couldn't have the season last year. And then we also have our special needs sport program where we do different sports each month inside.
Okay, and you do clinics, and obviously you teach all those different kids. Okay, now tell me. Now we're going to get to the crux of why you and I have now had conversations over the past month or so. Tell me a little bit about how Buddy Baseball all began. And I know you told me when I wrote the story about it just recently, but give me a little bit of a brief synopsis about Buddy Baseball and how did that all come about and how big of a program is this now in Bayonne?
Yeah, so before Buddy Baseball, we started special needs sports. Maureen Brown, who's the principal of Woodrow Wilson, and Tom Jacobson, the director of physical education at the Board of Ed, we spoke about trying to bring sports into the special needs community. I remember me at Woodrow Wilson School with Maureen and Tom, and we got talking. So we started a program where every month we were doing a different sport. I think our first event we ever did was pillow hockey.
Pillow hockey, okay.
And what it is it's hockey, but the blades are foam.
Are you there, Pete? I lost you. All right, well, go ahead, Pete, you there? No? Yeah, go ahead, Pete, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, I lost you there for a little bit. All right, so tell me, say a little bit about pillow hockey. Go ahead.
Yeah, so pillow hockey, it's hockey, but
All right, we're breaking up a little bit with Pete Amadeo. We'll be back with him in just a little bit, but we'll break right now for a commercial from Stan Sports Center. And Stan Sports Center is your local full-service sporting goods vendor and authorized team dealer. They offer quality products and dozens of brands to outfit your team top to bottom. Stan's has proudly been supporting the local community since 1946 and is your one-stop shop for uniform, equipment, online team stores, and much more. Locations in Hoboken and Saddlebrook and servicing the entire tri-state area. Visit them on the web at Stans, that's Stans plural, sportsctr.com, and check them out on social media for the latest creations. At Stan Sports Center, located at 528 Washington Street in Hoboken. Telephone number is 201-798-4466. And if you mention the Hudson County Sports Podcast to my friends down at Stan's, that's Danny and Lou and Todd, they'll give you 10% off on all retail equipment that's on sale down at Stan's. That's Stan Sports Center, located at 528 Washington Street in Hoboken. Pete, are you with us?
yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, all right. I lost you there for a second, Pete, and then we're going to go back to talking a little bit about Buddy Baseball in the closing minutes that we have. All right, so it came about that you had all these activities and clinics for special needs children. And did you have any idea at that point the vast number of kids that were special needs students, just students, in the city of Bayonne? Did you have any idea?
I did, but I don't think I realized it directly until we met for pillow hockey and when we had our first meeting. But I was aware, and I knew it was going to be special.
Okay. Because I was blown away when I first talked to Maureen Brown about how many classified students that were autistic in just her school alone. And I figured I was thinking maybe, I don't know, 30, 35, and she laughed at that number. She said, "What, are you kidding me?" And I had no idea how many autistic students there were in the city of Bayonne. With that in mind, then you must have said to yourself, okay, Buddy Baseball may work out, and it may not be just, say, 10, 15 kids. It may be a big time program, and that was something that you thought as well, that you had a chance to having a big time program.
Yeah, our special day sports program was going great. We were meeting each month. We even did T-ball the 1 month at Lincoln School in the gym. Then one of the parents, Miss Maria, she said, "Well, what about having like a baseball league?" So we actually met at Little League just to throw down ideas. And then I remember coming into City Hall that following week, and I asked our director at the time, "Can we do this?" And he said, "Let's go for it." And that's how it started.
Okay. And did you? So you hadn't, and when you first said that's when it started, did you know it was going to become as big as it was?
Not that first day, but then I remember sitting at my desk putting things together. I'm like, well, let's get the uniforms. Well, let's do a parade. Let's do a breakfast. Let's have a ceremony. And I'm like, you know what? This is going to be pretty big. I remember calling the high school. Can I have the marching band to lead us in the parade? Can I have the police color guard? Things just happened so quickly. And that first year, opening day, it rained a little. I couldn't believe what was going on. Like, look at Bayonne, though. Bayonne deserves all the credit to what really happened that first day. And here we are in our 6th season. We've come such a long way, but it's been incredible from day one.
Yep. Okay. And now, how much of a thrill do you get out of buddy baseball? And you got what? There's 3 weeks left to go in your regular season.
Yeah. So we got rained out this past weekend, but we have 3 weeks left. For open day was just incredible. It's hard to put into words. The turnout we had. We had week 2, which was great. Every time we take the field, it's incredible. It really is.
Okay. And roughly explain the rules about buddy baseball and what happens is that every kid gets at least one at bat and.
Yeah, so we play 2 innings, so every kid gets up twice. So we bat through the lineup. What makes buddy baseball so great is that we have buddies who run the bases with our players. So we have the Bayonne High School baseball team, the Bayonne High School softball team. They're there with us. They're in the field with our kids. They're running the bases with our kids. We have other volunteers who come out throughout Little League, other organizations. The buddy aspect of buddy baseball is what makes our program. And every week it's special. The kids look forward to coming to our field. I see them walk into our field. You just see the joy on their faces. We're high-fiving, we're cheering, we're clapping. It's remarkable.
Okay. And for those who are going to be listening to this and not knowing about what buddy baseball, where do you play the games and when are they there? Every Saturday?
Yeah, so we play at 11th Street Field off Avenue 8, which I played there as a little kid playing Little League practice. But we play at 11th Street Field. It's our field of dreams. We play 5 Saturdays, and we have 3 games: 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Each game is a different age group. But we have 6 teams. I think we have close to 90 kids all together.
That's unbelievable. That's really unbelievable.
We lost a couple kids throughout COVID. They weren't ready to come back, which is 100% understandable. They'll be back next season. But I think our 5th season, we had over 100 kids playing buddy baseball that registered. Yeah. All
right. And then is that the shining moment of your association with recreation as being the director? Are you glad that you get to see something like that? The community and the town and the Department of Recreation and the Board of Ed all getting together for the same cause, and to see that, is that the shining jewel, so to speak, in your program?
I'm gonna have to say yes. I wish you were at opening day, but this past opening day was probably our biggest opening day. I don't know if it was because it was the first time where I feel like we got past the pandemic in a way where everyone's out, we're doing the right thing, and we're out for a purpose. Our kids, our players, they haven't had anything in over a year. For them to come out to see the support of this entire town, the entire town comes out for buddy baseball. Again, it's hard to put into words.
Yeah.
It really is, but the schools, the Board of Education, the superintendent, the council, everyone's out for buddy baseball. And it's just a proud day, but I'm just so proud of our players for them to come up, play the game of baseball, but cheer everyone on, cheer for their teammates. It's an emotional day, I must say. But it's incredible.
Well, I look forward to being there. Like I said, there's 3 weeks left to go in the regular season, and I look forward to being there one of these 3 days. Maybe this Saturday I may come. They start at 9 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock's our first game.
10 o'clock. Okay. All right. Well, we'll look forward to maybe getting down there. Maybe this Saturday I might come down and say hello. So I'm going to be a big supporter of it. I have my buddy baseball T-shirt already, thanks to Maureen Brown. She sent it to me, so I'll be wearing that with pride. So, all right, Pete, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes out to talk to me a little bit about recreation, about what your career is and what have you, and how much are you grateful and thankful that you're able to have a career and a job in the town that you grew up with, and it's all based in sports.
I'm blessed. I really am blessed. I'm very lucky and fortunate. I love my job. I love everyone I work with. I love everyone in Bayonne. So I'm very grateful.
All right. It's mentioned before we go talk a little bit about your wife and your kids and.
Yeah. Married maybe 12 years. I have 3 kids. My son just turned 10 yesterday, which is crazy how fast 10 years goes. My daughter's going to be 8 in July, and my youngest just turned 5 in March. And I mean, every day is an adventure. And my son's playing Little League now. He's pitching, so I see myself out there, and I see him. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Must be a great feeling. So,
yeah,
Pete, thank you so very much for sharing the time with me today on the Hudson County Sports Podcast. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. And thanks again for taking the time. All right, and we'll take care. All right. And that was Pete Amadeo, the recreation director in the city of Bayonne, who had a good baseball career at St. Peter's Prep and then at New Jersey City University, and now is doing some great things for recreation in the city of Bayonne, especially the special needs buddy baseball, which is really taking off. So thanks so much to Pete for being our guest today, and again, thanks to my executive producer Johnny Haig for being here always for me, and thanks to our special sponsor Stan's Sports Center, which is located in 528 Washington Street in Hoboken, and the telephone number is 201-798-4466. Thanks to Stan's for always being there for us. All right, thank you very much for listening to this week's Hudson County Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Haig, and have a pleasant week.